What's up, Mountaineer Nation? Welcome to another edition of the Mountaineer Effect. I'm your host, Marcus Dean. Welcome into the program. We have a lot to get to here today. Some exciting news here on the front end in terms of recruiting. A lot of new players coming into the fold as possible targets for the, get this, the 23 season, the 21 season, and the 22 season. So those seasons are already starting into full effect here with Coach Neil Brown and staff. So let's get to look at some of the ones here that I'm really looking forward to. This is for the class of 2021. A gentleman by the name of Ozzie Hoffner. We just made his top 8. He's a defensive end. He could play anywhere really on the defensive line. They're projecting him to be a defensive end. He's from the state of Georgia, which is a rich program area. We talked about that on a previous broadcast, saying how you need to go down to Florida, Georgia, South Carolina to rail in some players to get some real top-tier talent of what you can't pull out of your normal in-state target. But don't get me wrong, in-state talent I still do believe is the very best way to go in terms of talent. Now also another player I'm excited to is going to be committing here pretty soon, a 3-star wide receiver out of Watertown, Connecticut. He originally announced he's going to commit on May 20th, but he has pushed his decision back a little bit longer. A gentleman by the name of wide receiver by the name of Skylar Bell. He's a solid player, 6'1", right in the 180 to 200 range. He would be a dynamic player for sure for the Mountaineers. And this is something brand new. It's the first time I've ever seen this in terms of football. I mean, that looks like more and more coaches are going out and really hitting the ground hard in terms of 7th, 8th, 9th graders and coming up and through the JV system. This gentleman here is I'm excited about. He's a freshman for the class of 2023. He just got his first offer. Tyreek Blanding offered WVU was offered about a scholarship by WVU. Also another 3-star offensive lineman WVU offered, Tyler Needham. Definitely a name to keep in touch with. He's going to be an elite player. Whoever he gets, he has some top talent really coming after him right now. Alabama, Georgia, and South Carolina, just to name a few who's coming after him at this time. But I would love to see him wearing the blue and gold. He could play offensive guard. I really see him more like staying on the inside. I don't really foresee him as a tackle, but that could change. But definitely would love to see him in the blue and gold. Another one we made their top 7. He's a linebacker, safety, a prospect, a 3-star out of the Virginia Beach area. So the Mountaineers are dipping down into the great state of Virginia. The plug-in talent, which I said in previous broadcasts, I think that would be great for the Mountaineers to do, to plug in the regional talent, as Issei Itu. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Of course, like I said before, I'm really big on accuracy, so I want to make sure that we are saying these names correctly. And also in terms for the 2021 class, WVU had offered offensive, actually outside linebacker to Varian Martin Scott, who's a JUCO product. He's right now playing currently in the Kansas League, the Jayhawk League at Dodge City. So for those who are definitely interested in some JUCO, that's another good solid JUCO league that players come from. The Jayhawk League was another solid league out there. If you ever watch on YouTube or on Netflix, rather, there's a series on Netflix about the JUCO products with Eastern Mississippi, and a couple other programs have had documentaries on Netflix. Definitely worth a check out if you've not got a chance to do that. Now let's take a look here at some news and notes here around the program. Former WVU quarterback alumni Geno Smith has signed a new deal with the Seattle Seahawks. Who's not really released any of the details of the contract, but he is under contract with the Seattle Seahawks for this upcoming season. I would love to see him get some snaps. Even if it's in the preseason, definitely needs to get some work in and get some tape out there for other teams who could definitely use a starting quarterback. Also, a couple news and notes that I really wrote down here that Coach Brown, that I was really impressed about seeing Coach Brown do this in terms of the coronavirus and what's going on with the public as of right now. Coach Brown has really focused on the mental aspect of his players. He's talking about his players about their mental health. Mental health is such important with this terms of the coronavirus, and checking on players and checking on folks, see how they're doing, because it's not fun being in quarantine. It's not fun, with nothing really a lot to do, no schedule, no structure. As he said in his press conference over on Wednesday, players are used to structure because they have, you come into at the end of the then you have like what we're supposed to be in as of right now, as the calendar sets as of today. This is the wrap up of spring ball going into summer. So they have a little bit of a break now, but come the 1st of June, that'll start the summer workouts, individual workouts with the nutritionists, strength and conditioning coaches, and things like that. Then you turn the calendar to July. Then you're gonna, for end of June, 1st of July, you're gonna see some camps pop up, and structure and things like that for recruiting. And current players would be involved with that. And also the first part of June, you're gonna have your recruiting class enrolling in school at their new school. Who would be enrolling in June. I mean, that's being pushed back as well. And also folks who didn't enroll during the early signing period too. So everything's kind of being pushed back with this coronavirus. So Coach Brown has really been focusing on, their mental aspect, and because they're like a machine, they're used to repetition. And that's what really builds a program. And the coronavirus has kind of threw a wrench into that program, but we will get through it, and the Mountaineers will prevail. Definitely, for sure. He, like Coach Brown said, he's very optimistic about the season and having football this season. I agree with him. And President G also said in a press conference here recently, if you've not seen this gentleman, he's 5'0", 100 pounds soaking wet. He said he would suit up at 70-some years old. He would suit up and play for the Mountaineers if need be this fall. So God bless them. I mean, they want football. We want football. We need football as a country. I can't stress this enough. And finally, here on tonight's broadcast, if you've not seen the Pat McAfee show on ESPN, I recommend you download the app. That guy is a hoot. He's probably one of the funniest guys I've ever seen in my entire life, a former WVU player. If you're not familiar with Pat McAfee, go look up his highlights. He is one hell of a player. Neil Brown was on the show with Pat McAfee talking about the Mountaineers. And this is what I really like about Neil Brown. He welcomes back old players to the program. He told Pat McAfee he's more than welcome to come back anytime he wants to and do anything with the program he wants to do. He even offered him to sing Country Roads after we won a ball game. I mean, if you know Pat McAfee, you know that is it's a show you would definitely want to see. But that would conclude tonight's broadcast. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, make sure you subscribe to the link down below, and tell us how we're doing. Tell us about some of the stuff you'd like to see here on the channel. But until next time, this is Marcus Dean here with the Mountaineer Effect. Let's go Mountaineers.
Uh-oh.